Hi, my name is Lauren Hiller. I'm here today with Sean Sherman, who is the co-owner and brewer at Idle Hounds Brewing Company in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Sean, let's start today by talking a little bit about your professional background prior to starting the brewery.
I was in the hotel restaurant business for 19 years. I worked my way up, went to culinary school, been a pastry chef, front of the house manager, general manager, opened a bunch of different restaurants for different owners, and just enjoyed the creative aspect of working in restaurants for a long time.
Now, I know a little bit about this since I know you personally, but since we were talking about you and the other owner, Fraser, can you tell me a little bit about the inspiration that you guys had to start this business, like where that came from?
I hired Fraser to work with me in Summer Kitchen Restaurant. And he was working alongside me, as you know, in the restaurant. It was a really small restaurant, just two of us working behind the line. We usually have a dishwasher back there with us. So you get to know the other person very quickly who you work with. And we got to know each other like the second night. We were already talking about, you know, where you were from, what did you want to do, what are your inspirations in the future, that sort of thing. And he told me that he had gone to a brewing school in England, and he worked in a homebrew shop for years when he came back in Salt Lake City, and that he had wanted to get into working in brewery, and that his ultimate goal was to always own a brewery, was his ultimate goal. And I had always worked in restaurants and been a culinary in my background, and I had worked at opening restaurants, and always my ultimate goal was always to own a restaurant.
Aspects that are involved with opening.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a lot. It's really huge. You start with going for your federal license, and that is you're basically letting the government into every bit of your entire background. They're allowed to go, and you go through everything from terrorist background checks to full financial 7-year background checks. You know, electronic fingerprinting. You have to give layouts of what the building is going to look like, including the equipment on the inside. They said so that in case there was no lights and they had to storm your building for terrorist reasons, they would know what your building would look like on the inside in the dark. You know, I mean, just you have to do everything. I mean, you know, if anybody has done anything wrong in the past legally, it has to be written out. Right. They can deny your application for any reason like that at all. So I mean, you know, you have to give them everything.
And then when you opened the tap room after you started brewing, you had to.
That was a whole nother license. First, we had finished the federal. And then after we got our federal license, we still had to go and get the state license. So even though the federal grants you permission to brew, the state doesn't. So then you go do the state, which I thought was kind of weird in reverse.
Yeah,
you would think that the state would be cool that if the federal approves you. But the federal approves you, then you go and get your state, and the state basically asks you all the same stuff. They just want their fee basically, but they want to ask you a whole bunch of questions too. So you answer all the questions again. Do a whole bunch more paperwork and pay them their fee and get approvals, and you're approving your styles, your labels, everything that they want. Which a big thing also, a little side note, is that you know, a lot of people don't think about in alcohol business. Your names and your labels of your product are all scrutinized harshly.
On a slightly unrelated note, but it goes back to your brand image. And your really cool can designs. Can you tell us about your decision to go can only when you were distributing?
Yeah, we did can only because of we're down here at the beach, and cans are beach friendly. So that was a big part of it. Plus, cans are better quality for your beer. Um, they don't let any light in, which is the most detrimental part to your beer. That and oxygen. And the way that a lid on a can crimps underneath is a lot safer than just a cap that just closes on top.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it was all together. It was better. And then if you really want to get into it, glass is 50% recyclable. Aluminum's 100% recyclable.
It's better for the environment.
It's cheaper to transport. You know, you have less breakage issues.
So, as a startup, what do you feel has been your best form of promotion for your company?
It's been we've tried a bunch. We've done magazines, newspaper, and social media, of course. And I think definitely social media has been. You know, really don't see that much back from magazines. We've done some newspaper, you get a little bit. We've done some specialty newspaper stuff that deals with just beer. That's helped out pretty good, but it's still really costly.
Right.
But the social media spread is just it ends up going directly to locals, and it actually goes along to people who enjoy what you do particularly, like
Right.
beer, and it starts getting into people who enjoy beer and their friends who enjoy beer, who in turn like people who enjoy beer, who it goes out and out and out, and it's not just in your local area. They start branching out to other people, and their friends who are down here on vacation, and their friends who would say, oh, when you go down there on vacation, you got to go to this brewery because they really enjoyed it. So it really spread out a lot faster, and spending an extra $20 to boost something on Facebook, and seeing how much you get in paid reach and organic reach and responses and stuff like that, you don't really get on most of your other
Right.
you know, forms of advertisement. They'll talk to you about it, but you can't physically see it, or you actually do see it in things, forms like that. And I think Twitter's been pretty good too.
That's
You get a lot of reach out like that. But
Yeah,
pretty good.
social media I think is so important today, and it's such an easy avenue as a startup.
It is. We definitely need to do a little bit more work on our webpage, but with three of us, we try to keep up with basically Facebook has been our number one thing, because click, write, send. It's
Yeah.
fast, it's easy, and you keep people up to date.
And word of mouth has been huge
Yeah.
for you guys too, like
Yeah.
we were talking about before. I mean, I know that I tell everyone that I see
Thank you
coming
so much. We
to town
appreciate
to
it
try you
so
guys
much.
out, and they all love it. So, in conclusion, I wanted to ask you if you had any advice to any future entrepreneurs thinking of starting any type of business. What would be your best word of advice to them?
Any type of business, study. Study your business. Knowing basic business, like educationally. I didn't know, and that definitely would have been a huge plus.
I'm sure my professor will love that.
A huge plus. If I could go back to school and take it now, I would do it in a heartbeat. That's a huge plus. But studying like what you think you'd want to do, and studying the failure rates, you know, what people do wrong, what they do right. Nowadays with the internet, the web, YouTube, all that type of stuff, you can read so much. I watch so much stuff on YouTube because you can take tours on what everyone else is doing. You can just like sit back and watch tours of other people's businesses over and over and over. At least with breweries you could, and you could so you could actually watch what it's like in the background, and you find yourself, once you get really into it, noticing not the actual tour as much as you do the things in the background of the tour, that they
Right.
have placements and stuff like that really would help grow, and then finding somebody who has helped start other businesses. If you could find someone reputable,
As in like a mentor sort of,
a mentor,
or a partner.
or even someone that you can hire that comes out and works with you for, 4 months or 6 months. Even there's people that you hire that come out and work for just 1 year, and that's their deal. Is they come out and you pay them 1 year salary, and they come out and they help you start your whole business up and work with you to get it up off the ground, and then they go. I mean, there's no guarantees to it, but if they've helped start successful businesses and they can help you do that, I think it's worth it. I really think it's worth it. If they've got good credentials behind them, I think that gives you a good step above other people who are plundering along. So.
Well, thank you so much, Sean. It was so nice sitting down with you this afternoon.
You're welcome.